be answering a subscriber's question. And I'm not going to reveal the subscriber, but you know who you are. I'm not going to reveal you because I don't know if you want this to not affect you at all, but you know who you are if you know what video I'm talking about right now, because I'm about to answer the question. So the question is how to get abandoned cars in Need for Speed Payback. Now, there's only one simple answer to this. First, what are abandoned cars? Now, in Issue Payback, after you beat the game, there's this system called abandoned cars that we did when the game finished and when we didn't know what to do besides race, buy cars, customize them, and race again. And obviously keep repeating that thing until, we got bored or we just wanted to play a different game or we just decided that the game was enough. So Need for Speed created the system, as you guys may know, to, you know, keep us players into the game and to make sure that we're locked in and we just stay with the game. Now, the feature abandoned cars was kind of it was an update. Now there was about, let's see, there was about like 5 or 6 abandoned cars that came out. Not in total. There was about 100 that came out in total. But those I'll talk about in a second. But first, let's just get down to the main 5 or 6 that we got. We got the Mazda RX-7, which I'm driving currently, and then the Amazon P130, which is a Volvo, and the Volvo. I forget which Volvo it is, but I remember it's an old Volvo, and there's only 2 Volvos in the game, so you guys may know which one I'm talking about. Um, and then we have the BMW M4, the E30, the Evolution, and then we had the Plymouth Barracuda. Oops. And then we had the Nissan Skyline GTR 2000, which was the 1973 GTR, which was an old classic. So the way this worked is that each car, there would be a car each week or each month, I believe. And the Mazda RX-7 was the first car you would get. Now, this car would appear right at this garage, parked right here. And the other abandoned cars would be all scattered around the area. Now, this is different from derelict parts and derelict builds, which, as you guys may know, derelict builds were actually these builds that, like, you would collect, for example, the Mustang, the Beetle, the C10, the Bel Air, and the Fairlady. Those are the cars you would collect, and you would use these little maps to find them. But when you had an abandoned car, you didn't have a map. You would just have to search all of Fortune Valley for these abandoned cars. So you would start, I don't know, let's say in the middle of your garage right here, and you would search all of Fortune Valley for this one abandoned car that you're gonna find. Now, we all went to the internet if we ever didn't want to just deal with finding it. So we all went to the internet and we would always find the location, and the internet would tell us the exact location. And then we would find it, and all you had to do was get the car, and the car, since it's abandoned, would be chased by cops, or you would get chased by cops. And you would have to get that car all the way to the garage over here to Rav in order for you to be safe from the cops, and for him to, I guess, when you get the car in there, he describes the history of the car, and then you get to customize it all you want. Now, there wasn't a super build, unlike derelict parts, which was okay, but it it, it was still cool to see them as abandoned cars. Now, this would be, I believe, either weekly or monthly. So, like, what came first was the Mazda, which I'm currently driving right now, then the Amazon P130, then the other Volvo, and then the BMW M4, and then the Barracuda, and the Plymouth Barracuda, and then the Nissan Skyline 2000's GTR 1973. Now, I think I put that in the correct order. I may have put in the incorrect order between the Volvos, but I don't know. But that's what I remember from the order that they came in. Now, other abandoned cars that came in were like boss cars. For example, who's a good one you guys remember? Udo Roth, the first off-roader that you have to race with using Mac against, like, to get higher into the Outlaws Rush. Udo Roth, the like the leader of his own club. I think it was like League 73. You would get his car, and you would get other boss cars, but you wouldn't get like specific cars. You wouldn't get like Rav's Ford Mustang, Tyler's R34, any of those cars. You would just get the boss cars. For example, another example is La Katrina's Datsun, which was a race crew that we had to beat using Tyler, and yeah, it was just mainly boss cars, which I have some but not all. And then what came next was seasonal. Seasonal came next, which was like if it depends on like a holiday. For it kind of depended on the month. So for example, January would be New Year's Eve, so they came out with a New Year's Eve car. For Valentine's Day, they came out, for February they came out with a Valentine's Day, which was a car with a bunch of hearts and Valentine's Day theme. And you could guess the rest on what they came out with for the rest. I don't have all of those cars, but I have some. I don't really have all of them. I didn't really collect all of them. But that's as much as we know about the abandoned cars. Now, did they come back in the later on Need for Speeds? They did not, however. Or, sadly, they did not. And I'm not going to tell you guys why, unless you guys want me to make a video on that. But, they definitely changed it up. And the abandoned cars were cool, but I kind of wish they brought them back. I kind of wish they brought them back for this game, especially because this game, like, it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite Need for Speeds. I can't choose what's my old Need for Speed game, but I can guarantee this is one of my favorite Need for Speeds of all time. Now, to answer your question, how to get abandoned cars? Well, how you get abandoned cars now is they're just in the dealership. They're not scattered around Fortune Valley anymore. Now you may be asking why? Why not? They're not scattered around because Need for Speed is moving on from game to game. They went from Need for Speed Payback to Need for Speed Heat to Need for Speed Unbound. Currently we are at Unbound. Heat, they did a couple of updates. They didn't do much with it. They only did like 2 updates, and then they decided to move on with the designing for the next game. And they're gonna do that the same thing with Unbound. They're gonna move on to the next game and the next game and the next game. They're gonna keep doing that. They're not gonna add a lot to this game. So that's why the abandoned cars are not all over Fortune Valley. And mostly you would get like about like 3 days or a week to find them, which is why they were monthly or weekly. So you get about 73 hours to find the abandoned car, so you'd have enough time to look around Fortune Valley, but people still stuck to the internet to look for these abandoned cars. Now, in order to show you guys, this is where the cars are now. So, here we have the Amazon P130, the Volvo 242DL. Where's the rest? What the heck? Oh yeah, they're all spread out. I forgot. Where's it? The Barracuda, the BMW M3 Evolution 2 E30, the Mazda RX-7, and the Nissan Skyline 2000s GTR. That's where the cars are currently at now. They're all, I believe you can buy them all at any dealership, whether that's race, off-road, drift, drag, runner. I'm not sure about Speed Cross. I doubt they have it for Speed Cross. Yeah, I doubt. Yeah, they don't have it for Speed Cross. They only have Derelicts and other cars for Speed Cross. But that's all I can give you about these abandoned cars. Now, if you're gonna ask me, were they worth to find? Yes. Did they come with any like, I don't know, surprising things? Yes, a lot of things. You wouldn't know what type of car it was until you got it back to the garage. It will tell you whether it was a race build, off-road build, drag build, drift build, or runner build. You wouldn't choose this, unlike the Derelicts. The Derelicts you would choose. These ones were just randomized. You wouldn't choose, you wouldn't know until you got to the garage. Now, in my opinion, they were cool, so they were worth it. That's my opinion, though. You can say whatever you want about these abandoned cars. Now, which one's the best one? 7 is the fastest car in the game. You hit it, you get it to 399, and you do all these crazy things to it. For example, full nitrous. My top speed is 236. Don't believe me? Let's look at this. 236. Look at that. Fastest car in the game. 236? That's pretty fast. This is the fastest car in the game, and I have it at 236? That's pretty good. Um, I would say most of them are good for race. I use the Barracuda for off-road. I don't use any of them for drift. I think the E30 or Mazda would be a good drift car, though. I would use those for a drift car. The other the both the Volvos doesn't really matter. I would use a 242 DL for a race build and kind of like stance it or like I don't know rice it out, just make it look cool. And then the Amazon I would use it for off-roading since there's a lot of cool off-road wraps and I know people will mainly use that as off-road or race. Now the 2000 GTR, I would use it as race or drift. The Barracuda, you can use it as whatever you want. I use it as a off-road build and a runner build. But did I miss any cars? Yeah, no. But that is all I have to say about the abandoned cars, where they are now, and why you cannot get them in Fortune Valley. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, guys should leave it with a like, make yourself for support. And also, if you guys want to go check out my other video that got a lot of views, and I believe a lot of you guys liked it. It is called What Happened to the Mac Attack. Now, go check out that video. I'll be posting a link down in the description down below. But yeah, I guess that's all I gotta say. Besides for you guys to always ask for more requests on this game. As you guys may know, I will do any of the videos you guys ask. Just request it. I'll think about, or I won't think about it. I'll try to get enough information, and if I can, I'll be able to do it. If I cannot, sadly, I will not be able to answer your question. I'll just reply with a simple response. And yeah, I guess that's all I gotta say. Besides for you guys, remember to, and always to, stay gnarly.